educational channel. Sounding form is a method with which to understand words, or words with a capital. This is the first of a series of videos. First method I will present is the method of the perceptive recognition of sound letters in forms. I will reveal in it how the choice of letters, sounds in words is deliberate. Its associations are made in an unconscious way, but it's very easy to grasp and understand once you know how this works. Our choice of letters and sounds to words use a certain perception of formal distinctions. We can learn, thanks to this video, to make this method very conscious. I can prove that a basic method of visual distinction is used in our perception or in our way how we see and how we make a choice of words. Its principle could easily be used as a recognition software. For example, how in our perception we can make distinctions and use these which letters to name objects. I have various methods with which this distinction can be revealed. The first one I could call the method of perception, with the distinction of phonemes, sound letters, to 1, 2 or 3 centers of distinction. It will reveal how our perception itself will make a distinction in forms in which it gradually recognizes different elements of importance. We will start with the empty circle. Our first focus upon one center, which immediately leads to the first letter A, starting from a 0 point but going or evolving towards 1 point or a real point. From there, our reality and our perception will start with the letter A, and I will show you some variations and the focus point. Once this moves a little bit, this gradually shifts its center of focus towards the material itself, the whole volume or the whole material that from the content inside this object, inside this center. Once you do that, you come to the next letter, the letter T. The T is the real number 1, the real center, focus. You make a distinction with the T, a real distinction. You can see what is different and what is not. Focus will move again up until the point you almost have 2 centers. You'll make a difference. You will show a difference. You'll find a difference so much so it will find its limits of the range of what you can still call a center. It's the limiting range of your center vision, which will be expressed in the letter K. A few variations. This will be splitting itself into 2 without being 2 different parts yet. It will go away from the center once it has a distinction between one center and another. Make some examples. So the example will focus yourself upon a different center and an absence of a center indeed, with the center focus being empty and the rest as a reference around it. See you. Once the focus moves again, you shift towards the material itself. The material itself is the focus of the L. Once it moves again a little bit, you will no longer look at the material. You're starting to look from things and the differences that you notice between objects or two focuses, almost two focuses. In this case, there are two focuses. You look at these differences from a certain edge, from the border of two objects. Here you see it's more than two. It will split itself into two different objects. It's the B. Once the object split itself, you will make a true distinction. It will go away from the center. You will make comparisons. It will be the C. That's the content of the C. It will always be more than 3 parts in it. There will always be 3 parts in it. Once the focus will truly separate itself, so that you have new material, this material that separates itself from the center, this will be expressed by M. There will be truly 3 distinctive parts in this case, and that's characteristic for the M. This is the M. This will lead further to the edge of the separation. This is the edge of the separation with the letter X. There are 3 until 4 parts of distinction in this case. The X is on the edge of the 2 parts. The focus is still on the center, but it goes towards the extension, so it will go towards somewhere else without having already somewhere else or something else. But we could also already completely focus instead of one center, how one center splits itself into 2 centers, or how the extension itself works. Here there will always be 4 distinguishable regions, and a new center that is the synonym, or in other words, this is the real center that extends itself towards somewhere else, expressed by the letter D. If you extend this further, okay, of course you will also receive material somewhere into the volume. The volume itself is extending with material expressed by the letter N. A little bit further, okay, you will see that your focus will go to the extension from the focus of the edges with a Y. A further extension is building up the material around the center of expansion. It's the letter O. Once the material is being collected, it's collected inwards, but it's extending via the letter Z. Material will extend further outwards by the letter E, with an extension, new edges, new I can't find the words. It's increasing it's crossing the surroundings. You can say it exceeds the edges. That's for sure. Here, once it really does that, it will be expressed by the W. Until you really go away from the center, it's deviating even more, and you will express that with the G. When you separate the material as well, it will be expressed with the F. When you separate the edges or borders, where you have differences in the material, or the material that is no longer into the one center of extension, and the limits are increased and it's no longer kept together very easily. You will express this with the letter P. And then we come to the three centers of focus that of expansion. So the more than a doubling of a center, it's really an increasing of the centers. Now you really have centers, different centers. So you have a focus of different centers in just one focus, that you keep this together with a Q. All the extra material that comes forward from here, it's still kept into the center. It's expressed by the V. Once you receive or you can recognize different centers of attention, this will be expressed by the G. Once you reach the edge of the material that you can still add there, you will also create extra space there, so it will be expressed by the H. And the extra material, the places that are available here where you can add extra material, will be expressed by the R. And the extra edges that are significant and that are materializing will be expressed by Y. Here you can have new structures that will appear. All the phenomena itself that are on the edge of everything will be expressed by S. It's really the final edge of what can be added. So how can we apply this to reality or to words? Our perception ability estimates quickly the whole amount, the correct amount of centers, material, volume, edges, borders, and you will find its correct arrangement or combination. The same way as we make choices to make words, it will also you can also find the correct order of the sound expressions into the forms that are expressing this. So within the choices of our word creations, we also emphasize some words or content. These choices can easily be recognized afterwards as well. I will only give one example. Cushion, the word cushion, kussen in Dutch, versus pillow. These are words that sound very different. Their forms are also different. If you put these words choices or letter combination choices into forms, these forms can be recognized into the objects as sound combinations, and they will fit. So you have cushion and pillow. These are the sound into forms from the words expressed into the forms, and I will explain how you can recognize this. There's a difference into the forms of the cushion or the pillow. It's deliberate. That's what we mean with these words: cushion, pillow. This is the K, the edges, or the C with a small difference in volume. Here's the K, so on the edges. The U, it makes a difference between inner outer form. The S, this is the form of the S we know. This is a very irregular form that is also on the edges of this cushion. The N, the content, which is still there. This is expressed differently, and here if you would use this with recognition software, it will look more or less like that, and it will be recognized like with the recognition software like this. But I will go to pillow. Pillow, the P is expressed here, the I here, the L's, the two L's here. It's a difference between the form which is materialized inside and an emptiness outside. The O is expressed here. It's a content which exceeds the Y. The W, sorry, is the loose form at the end. Together it's pillow. So that means P-I-L-O-W. can see here. Thanks for watching, and